Something different is happening in Indiana. Caitlin Clark is back on the basketball court. But this time, everything feels different. A new coach, a new vision, a new chapter. After taking the WNBA by storm during her rookie season, Caitlin Clark is already preparing for what comes next. And her first workout with new Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White may have revealed the beginning of something much bigger. This was not just another practice session. This was the first step toward building a championship mindset. And now fans around the basketball world are asking one major question. Can Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White become the duo that changes the future of the Indiana Fever forever? Already changed the conversation around women's basketball. Before she even stepped onto a WNBA court, millions of fans were following her journey. She became one of the most recognizable players in the sport because of her incredible shooting ability, elite passing, confidence, and ability to create unforgettable moments. But entering the WNBA was never going to be easy. The expectations were enormous. Every game was under a microscope. Every shot was analyzed. Every mistake became a headline. Yet Caitlin Clark continued to prove why she was considered one of the most special talents in basketball. During her rookie season with the Indiana Fever, she showed the same qualities that made her a superstar in college. Fearless shooting, creative playmaking, the confidence to take big shots when the pressure was at its highest. But now comes the next challenge. The league knows who Caitlin Clark is. Defenses know her strengths. Coaches are studying her every move. And that means the next stage of her career will require even more growth. That is why this first workout with Stephanie White matters so much. It represents a fresh start. A chance to build a new system. A chance to develop new skills. And a chance for Caitlin Clark to become an even more complete player.
More than anything. Can you share some of the tweaks of kind of your prep to kind of get ready physically for the season? So trying to, eliminate some of the stuff that kind of happened last year.
I mean, very intentional about the things that I'm trying to do. I think as a young person, you just grab your basketball shoes and you're like, let's just get up on the court and lace them up and go play. And that wasn't obviously something that was going to help me through the longevity of my career. So, I mean, a lot of targeted things for certain muscle activation. I think me and our athletic trainer have a really great relationship. She came over at the beginning of last year, and she's been probably the most selfless person through this entire process. So I'm just really thankful for her. She's been here every single day that I've been here. She's been working on holidays when I've been in the gym. She's traveled to every USA thing with me as well. And, there's definitely days where I still sometimes feel sore, but like a lot of athletes that have gone through injury know it's like the mental battle. It's like your body's fine. You've put in the work and like it's just kind of getting over that mental hurdle. So I think there's definitely still days where I experience a little bit of a mental block, but I know I'm doing every single thing I can to.
For Indiana Fever fans, this moment represents something they have been waiting for. For years, Indiana was searching for a new identity. The franchise had talented players, but finding consistency and building a winning culture was the biggest challenge. Then Caitlin Clark arrived. Suddenly everything changed. The attention increased. The expectations increased. The energy around the franchise completely changed. But one player cannot build a championship team alone. That is where Stephanie White enters the story. A coach with experience. A coach with a strong basketball mind. And a coach who understands that developing a superstar requires patience, communication, and trust. The first workout between Clark and White was not about proving anything. It was about starting a relationship, understanding each other, learning what works, and creating a plan for the future. Because championship teams are not built overnight. They are built through thousands of small moments. And this was one of those moments. To understand why this partnership matters, you have to understand Caitlin Clark's journey. Long before she became a WNBA star, she was already changing basketball. In college, she became one of the most exciting players in the sport. Her deep three-point shooting, her incredible court vision, her ability to control the pace of a game, all of these qualities made her a player unlike anyone else. But what separated Caitlin Clark was not just talent, it was mentality. She wanted the biggest moments. She wanted the toughest challenges, and she wanted the responsibility of leading her team. That mentality followed her into the WNBA. Instead of being overwhelmed by the pressure, she embraced it. She understood that expectations come with greatness. And now, heading into the next phase of her career, she knows the competition will only become tougher. The difference between a good player and a great player is the ability to keep improving. The best athletes in the world never believe they have reached their final level. They study, they adjust, they work on weaknesses, and Caitlin Clark understands that better than anyone. Her rookie season proved she belongs among the best players in the league. But the next step is becoming even more dangerous. Improving her strength, making quicker decisions, handling different defensive looks, finding new ways to impact games. Because once a player becomes a superstar, the challenge changes. It is no longer about showing people what you can do. It is about staying ahead of everyone trying to stop you. And that is exactly what this offseason is about for Caitlin Clark. Preparation, growth, and becoming ready for the next battle. The first images of Caitlin Clark working with Stephanie White immediately caught the attention of basketball fans everywhere. Because this was more than just a normal offseason workout. This was the first look at how the new Indiana Fever coaching era could begin. Every movement mattered. Every drill had a purpose. And every adjustment showed the type of details that could help Caitlin Clark reach another level. When you watch a superstar train, the difference is often found in the small things. It is not just about making shots. It is about how quickly a player gets into position, how they create space, how they react under pressure, how they make decisions when the defense changes. And that is exactly what this workout appeared to focus on. One of Caitlin Clark's biggest strengths has always been her shooting ability. Her range has changed the way defenders approach her. Opponents cannot give her space. They cannot relax for even a second, because Caitlin Clark can turn a small opening into 3 points instantly. But even elite shooters continue to improve. During workouts like this, the focus is not only on making shots. It is about making those shots easier to create during real games. Footwork, balance, speed, shot preparation. These are the details that separate great shooters from legendary ones. The goal is to make every movement more natural and every decision faster. Because in the WNBA, defenders are quick, the windows are smaller, and the pressure is higher. The difference between a good shot and a difficult shot can happen in less than a second. That is why these off-season repetitions are so important. Another major area of focus for Caitlin Clark is creating opportunities when defenses try to slow her down. After her rookie season, teams now understand how dangerous she can be with the basketball. They know she can score from deep. They know she can create incredible passes. They know she can control the pace of the game. So the next challenge is finding new ways to stay one step ahead. Improving ball handling, changing speeds, creating separation, making quicker reads. These are the skills that allow superstar players to dominate even when opponents have a specific game plan designed against them. A great player does not just react to the defense. A great player controls the defense. And Caitlin Clark has already shown she has the basketball IQ to do that. Now the goal is becoming even more consistent.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, like I spent a lot of time here. I love Indianapolis. I'm a Midwest girl. I enjoy spending time here. A lot of people like to get away from the cold. I don't really mind it as much. And also, like, I have every resource I need. I can be on this court every single day. I can be in the weight room downstairs. Obviously, I have the athletic training staff, and then I have a lot of my own personal stuff in the city that I'm able to do and people have to have around. And then the pickup part of it, I mean, honestly, shout out to those guys. A lot of those guys are like part-time workers for the Fever and put in a lot of time. They really feel like full-time employees, but they're paid as part-time employees. And, a lot of former college hoopers or some that have even played pro overseas that are back and are looking for runs as well, and just very selfless people. And a lot of the time people play pickup and they're playing to a score. Like, we kind of changed it up to make it a little bit more game-like, where we're playing like time. So kind of playing like to the first media timeout, or like a 6-minute game, a little bit more than a media timeout. So you can kind of feel obviously there's only so much you can do to replicate a real game. You're never going to fully get that, but doing everything we can to kind of replicate that. And then, we're playing like a certain amount of that. And then, tracking like, obviously there's such great technology, like heart rates wise, and, a chip that can track like your accelerations and things like that. So I can kind of see that and then compare that to game data that we've had from my rookie year. And then the few games that I did play in my second year. And then even tracking that when I was at USA, it gives me a really good gauge of like, I'm not guessing, like I'm understanding like what the data is telling me, acceleration wise. And then I can kind of relate that to how my body's feeling, and then go from day to day of, do I want my load to be heavier? Do I want it to be a little bit lighter? Do I want it moderate? And then you can.
One of the biggest differences between good players and elite players is movement without the basketball. The best scorers are constantly creating advantages. They are cutting, changing direction, finding open spaces, creating opportunities before they even touch the ball. For Caitlin Clark, improving these areas can make her even more difficult to defend, because defenders already have to respect her shooting. They already have to respect her passing. Adding better movement creates another problem for opponents. Now they have to make impossible choices. Do they stay close and risk getting beaten off the dribble? Or do they give her space and risk a 3-point shot? That is the type of pressure that elite players create. And Caitlin Clark is continuing to build that level of impact. Another important part of this workout is preparation for the physical demands of the WNBA. The season is long. The schedule is demanding, and every night brings another battle against the best players in the world. For Caitlin Clark, improving strength and conditioning can help her handle the physical side of the game. It can help her stay consistent late in games. It can help her absorb contact, and it can help her perform at her highest level throughout the entire season. Superstars are not created only during games. They are created during the hours when nobody is watching. The early mornings, the extra shots, the difficult workouts. Those moments build the foundation for greatness. What stood out most to fans was not just the basketball drills. It was the focus, the intensity, the communication between Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White. You could see the beginning of a partnership being built. A coach learning what motivates her star player. A player understanding the expectations of a new system. That connection is extremely important, because the best teams are built when players and coaches believe in the same vision. And for Indiana, that vision is clear. Continue developing Caitlin Clark, build around her strengths, and create a team capable of competing at the highest level.